Hi, welcome to another episode of Beyond Just Fine. This week I thought we would talk about positive thinking, but perhaps not in the way that you might be expecting. Now, we're often told to try and think positive and to try and see the positive in situations. Now, that mindset works very well, but sometimes it can work against us. Sometimes positive thinking can be hiding uncomfortable truths. It could be truths that we're trying to avoid. Let's say, for example, we're in a job that we don't really enjoy. Now, to try and positively think our way in that situation, we might be saying to ourselves, well, I'm grateful that I have a job. Well, that might be all very well, but the underlying truth might be that we just don't feel very happy. Or maybe it's that we are doing too much, we're taking on too much and trying to see the positive in all the overwhelm. We might be saying, well, I'm grateful to have all of these opportunities. But realistically, the underlying truth is that we could be heading towards burnout. Now, sometimes trying to feel better about things isn't necessarily where growth happens. Growth can happen when we're being honest about our feelings, because life responds to action. Now, whilst thoughts matter and how we think about things matters, is to be able to get to the path that we want, it's about taking small positive steps, those small little actions. So, for example, that job that we're not very happy in, well, thinking about it and thinking that we deserve more isn't going to lead us towards change. But a small action we can take is updating our CV. And that can then help us on that road that we really need to be heading down. And while we try to positively think our way out of discomfort, we can actually be ignoring some really important information, because emotions are just messages, they're sending us signals. Even boredom is telling us something. It could be telling us that the situation that we're in is just leaving us a bit unfulfilled. Frustration could be saying that there's an unmet need. So instead of saying to ourselves, what is it I need to do to not feel this way? It might be just asking ourselves, well, what is this feeling actually trying to tell me? Now, usually when people come to me for life coaching, it is because they want to try and feel better. And they soon realize along the way that feeling better isn't the actual end goal. It's about living more truthfully, living a life that's more in alignment with your values and your desires, the life that you actually want to live. Because when we're living a life that way, the positive thinking then just becomes a natural thing. So, positivity isn't always the goal, it's alignment. And a fulfilled life isn't about feeling positive all the time. In fact, it's not actually possible to feel positive all the time. It's just about living a life according to our values, and then the decisions that we make are then based upon that. They reflect who it is that we want to be. So maybe it's replacing positive thinking with honest thinking. And instead of saying to ourselves, well, everything's fine, it's just about asking, well, what's actually true right now? So, for example, with that job that we're not happy in, yes, we might be grateful that we have it, but maybe the truth is it's just not feeling challenging anymore. Maybe life is going okay, but maybe we're just feeling a little bit unfulfilled. So it's having that self-awareness, and instead of trying to override those discomfort, those uncomfortable feelings that occur, it's just about being curious about them. Okay, what am I feeling? What is this feeling telling me? What need is currently being unmet? Is there something I'm avoiding? Is there an uncomfortable conversation that maybe I need to have? But most importantly, is there a decision that I've already made with my heart that I've yet to act upon? So it's just checking that when we're trying to think positive in certain situations, it's just having that check in to make sure that we're not trying to avoid what really needs to happen. We're not trying to avoid an action that really needs to take place to put us back on the path to be in alignment with the life that we want to live. And if we notice that that's the case, then it is just about asking ourselves those questions. What am I really feeling? What do I really feel I need to do here? What's in my control that I can do? And looking at some small actions that we can take, which then can set us upon that path. Because when we take small actions, that can actually give us motivation. Sometimes we wait to feel motivated, but the truth is that when we take little actions, that can then give us that motivation. So remember, sometimes when we do take those actions, there will be those unpleasant feelings that come up, that anxiety, that fear, that nervousness. But they are often the signals that we are on the right path. We're heading in the right direction of the life that we want to live. So just remember, it's not always about chasing good feelings. It's not always about trying to be positive 24/7. It's just about creating alignment, making sure we're on the path that we need to be on to fulfill our desires, our dreams, and to live the life that we want to live. Just have that awareness, become more honest, and then be willing to act upon the information that you uncover from asking all of the right questions. But as always, be kind to yourself. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.